Hey, OKCPS team and family. My name is Autumn Browning, and I'm a teacher at Star Spencer High School. I'm here today to explain the Week 2 continuing learning plan for the English 2 classes. I'm going to share my screen with you, and if you are accessing the materials digitally, you can follow right along with the steps that I've taken, or if you have the packet material in front of you, that's awesome because you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is log on to OKCPS.org, and you'll get pulled to a page that looks like this. Once you click View Instructional Activities, you will go ahead and you'll be able to see all of the different subjects and grade areas on the left-hand column. Today we're just focusing on English 2. When you access the English 2 materials, you'll get pulled to a screen that looks like this. And I just want to go over the overview of what the district expects you to be doing every day and then every week. So we would like you to be doing one reading and one writing activity every single day for your English class. And then we would like you to do 1 to 2 vocabulary activities, 1 to 2 research and test prep activities, and 1 to 2 multimodal or speaking and listening activities per week. We're going to walk right through the different activities that you can choose from and how to get to these websites or the materials and what the directions are for each. So if we look at the reading activities, the first thing that we're asking you to do is go to News ELA and choose an article that looks good to you. Once you log into News ELA, you will see a screen that looks something like this. I went ahead and clicked on the news page, and you can go ahead and select any article that seems interesting to you. So if I were clicking through and this article looks great to me, I'm going to click on it and I'll read the article, and you'll notice a tab here to the left that says activities. I'm going to go ahead and click on that activities tab, and it gives me reading activities to do for writing and both test prep questions. So I'm going to go ahead and look at those, and you'll see that I can access them right on the computer. If you're doing a paper version, you may just use the pre-selected article that the district chose, and that looks like ancient lines in the sand. So once you look through your article, you'll also notice that you have test questions all throughout the back or the bottom of the page, excuse me. And you also have some like after reading and writing prompts as well. The next reading activity that the district is giving you the option to do is choosing any book or magazine or comic book of your choice and reading for at least 20 minutes. You can access lots of books online for free through the Metropolitan Library System using your student ID number and your last name. And if you go to one card, it'll explain exactly how to log in. That link is in this document as well. And you can go ahead, and if you hit find, you can really find a ton of awesome books. Again, this can be comic books, magazine, actual like novels. It can also be things like audio books or ebooks, as well as podcasts and different streaming devices for movies and documentaries. Another option that you have for your reading activity is to examine a little bit more about the Holocaust. Many of us have learned or studied this in our English 2 classes, either through the Diary of Anne Frank or maybe the novel Night. But we are giving you biographical articles to read through Common Lit. Once you log into Common Lit, one article is about Elie Wiesel and the other is about Anne Frank. If you want to go ahead and you choose either one of those articles to read, you can look off to the right-hand side of the article. There are different activities that you may engage in. Again, we are giving you another narrative piece to read called The Leap. This is also a Common Lit article, and so when you go ahead and you log on to Common Lit and you look at The Leap, there are a ton of guiding questions, assessment questions, and discussion questions that you can do after you read the narrative piece. Next are our writing activities. So when you are doing your writing activities every day, we want you to do a quick write that fills at least an entire page. And you can select your own writing prompt either through this blog, which is really great. There are tons of different engaging and creative writing prompts on it. Pick one that looks great to you and go ahead and write. Or you can go ahead and you can choose a pre-selected writing prompt, which you have about 5 different options as well. Other options for writing activities include writing at least a 20-word summary of the article that you read. Be sure to use exactly 20 words. Make sure your wording is careful so you don't go over or you don't have under. Again, you can write about the topic of hope as it relates to the articles that you read about Elie Wiesel or Anne Frank, and make sure you talk about why hope is important to you and our society today. Lastly, you can take this writing that you have read and use it as a model to write your own memoir. You may create an outline and then start writing your own story. Remember, a memoir is a story about your life written by you, but it's not your whole life. It's just specific memories in your life. In terms of the vocabulary activities that you can do, there's a great website that shows 100 different vocabulary words that high schoolers need to know before they graduate. And you can either go on and you can just practice the words, you can choose a spelling bee type of competition, or you can do a different vocabulary jam. There are different games that you can choose from, and then there's just the list of words as well. Another vocabulary activity that you can do is you can identify 5 words that you feel other people need to know, and you can use a chart that looks like this and explain the meaning and why other people need to know that word. Another vocabulary activity that you can do is you can do a 4-square activity on the word hope. This is similar to the Frere model, so you're going to explain what the characteristics of hope are, what the word is not, create your own drawing of hope, and use the word in a sequence and give some context clues. Lastly, you can choose 4 new words and write down their meanings and try to use those words in conversation. Remember, the more that you practice the vocabulary that you use, the better it becomes second nature and that you're able to really incorporate it into your vocabulary toolkit. The next portion is that we have the research and test prep activities. Remember, we're asking you to do 1 to 2 activities per week. ACT Academy is an awesome website that does a ton for test prep. Once you get logged into ACT Press Prep, you'll be opened up to the dashboard. You can always click back here to see this screen. And the dashboard gives you different options of tests that you would like to take, and they have all the subject areas that you will be tested on with the ACT. So we'll just explore reading really quickly. If you click the reading tab, it says I haven't taken any tests in here yet, but it even breaks it down further into the different types of test questions and the test sections that will be on the test. Excuse me, that's my dog in the background. So for example, if we go to key ideas and details, I can take a quiz here and it will open up an additional screen that will give me different test questions. I'll read and answer, and it'll provide me with feedback at the end. Another test prep activity that I can do is using the practicing the skill of summary and paraphrasing, as well as making inferences on the material that I have read or a standardized test. I can also do some research on what I plan to do after high school, and I can look at the different options that are available to me, including career tech opportunities. And I might also research different jobs and different career paths that I'm interested in. If you are a student who is really interested in history and you like learning about this week's topic related to the Holocaust, you might be able to go in and research more about World War II and different facts that surround that event in our history. Lastly is our multimodal content. So one way that we can practice our speaking, listening, and multimodal skills while we are doing distant learning is through podcasts. You can listen to a different podcast, and there's a great website that are the 26 best podcasts for kids in elementary, middle, and high school. As you scroll further down on this site, there are it starts off with kind of elementary and it goes further down into more high school. So maybe you're really, again, interested in history. You can click on stuff you missed in history class, and you can learn a lot that way. Again, there are a ton of different podcasts, so please feel free to engage and look through the different options available to you. You can also create a picture of what you read during your daily reading, and this could look like a storyboard, a character sketch, a timeline, but be really artistic and creative in your representation. And then another way that you can use your multimodal and speaking and listening skills is by thinking about what you read during the day and relate it to a song that you like, or maybe just a song that you know, and answer some questions around it. Does it have a similar theme? How does it make you feel? What is the mood? Lastly, you can draw an image or symbol of hope, as this relates back to our Holocaust unit that we've studied this week. And you can draw an image and write a short caption beneath it to explain why that image or object represents hope to you. I hope this helps, explains a little bit further on what you're able to do during the week 2 English learning materials. If you have questions, please reach out to your teachers for more help, and we're all here to support you. Know that we miss you, and we hope you have a great week. Bye, guys.